The storm had been building for hours, the kind that does not announce itself with drama, but arrives quietly, swallowing sound and direction until the world forgets what it once looked like. Snow fell sideways across the outskirts of Anchorage, erasing the road and turning the night into a single, endless shade of white. At the edge of that frozen stretch lay a dark shape that did not belong, pressed low against the ground as if trying to disappear. A German shepherd lay trapped there, her front leg crushed tight in a steel hunting trap meant to hold until life gave out. She had stopped trying to escape. What strength she had left was spent curling her body protectively around a newborn. Puppy tucked beneath her chest, barely alive, trembling, breathing in shallow, uncertain gasps. To the world, she was disposable. To the storm, she was already gone. No one was supposed to see her. No one was meant to stop. The man driving the pickup that night was not searching for heroism or redemption. Ethan Walker was 42 years old, tall and broad-shouldered. With the quiet posture of someone trained to notice everything and say very little, he had spent nearly 2 decades as a Navy SEAL, a life measured in discipline, precision, and consequences that did not allow for excuses. Afghanistan had shaped him not through glory but through loss. 3 men under his command never made it home, and that weight had settled into him permanently, not as noise, but as silence. Since leaving the service, Ethan had chosen distance over connection, routine over comfort. Alaska suited him. The cold was honest. He did not pretend to care. His headlights caught the shape just beyond a bend in the road. Dark, low, wrong. His foot hit the brake before his mind could argue. The truck slid, tires groaning against ice, then stopped. Silence rushed in, broken only by the wind clawing at metal. Ethan exhaled once, slow and controlled. Training took over. He pulled on his parka, stepped out into the snow, boots sinking deep with each step. His eyes scanned the area automatically, checking for traps, movement, threat. His pulse slowed the way it always did when something mattered. This was the moment he knew well, the space between decision and action, where a man either walks away or commits fully. Up close, the dog was larger than he had expected. Even collapsed, she was powerful. Her thick coat crusted with ice, her breath shallow but controlled. The steel trap clamped around her leg was industrial, illegal, cruel by design. Blood had frozen into dark patterns around the jaws. Her ears were pinned back, teeth bared, not in attack but warning. Amber eyes locked onto Ethan's with fierce intelligence. This was no stray. She was trained, disciplined, enduring pain without surrender. She did not whine or beg. She endured, holding her ground even now, even broken. Then Ethan saw what she was protecting. Beneath her belly, nearly hidden against the snow, trembled a newborn puppy. Eyes sealed shut. Body no larger than Ethan's glove. Dot. The tiny form pressed, weakly into the warmth of its mother, unaware of the trap, the storm, or the fact that time was running out. Something tightened in Ethan's chest. A memory surfaced without permission. A wounded teammate bleeding into dirt half a world away. The moment when training had not been enough. When arrival had been too late, he felt the same weight settle over him now. Some choices do not ask for permission. They demand it. The dog growled low. A vibration felt more than heard. Ethan stopped moving. Slowly he raised his hands, palms open, the universal language of restraint. He spoke softly, his voice rough from disuse, unsure whether he was speaking to the animal, the memory, or himself. The trap was meant to kill slowly. Whoever had set it had not planned to return soon. Without help, the dog would bleed out or freeze. The puppy would not last an hour. Ethan stood there as the cold crept through his boots, weighing risk against consequence the way he always had. He could leave. Nature was cruel. Interference changed nothing. The man he had once. Ben refused to turn away. He moved with care, every motion deliberate. He placed his parka over the dog's head to block her vision, absorbing the sudden thrash of pain and fear. He used control, not force, pinning her the way he had once restrained enemy combatants. Knees and forearms steady, breath measured. Blood soaked into snow, steaming faintly in the cold. Metal screamed as he worked at the chain, shoulders burning with old injuries that never fully healed. Time narrowed to grip and breath and will. When the anchor finally gave, the chain slackened. The trap still crushed her leg, but she was free from the earth. Shock stole her strength. Ethan waited until the fight drained from her body before pulling back, respect written into every movement. The truck should have been safety. Instead, the engine coughed, shuddered, and died. Silence fell heavier than the storm. Ethan rested his forehead against the steering wheel for a moment, then made another decision. He dragged the injured dog into the cab, filling the space with the smell of blood and wild earth. He slipped the puppy beneath his sweater, pressing the tiny body against his bare chest. Sharing warmth meant for survival. Outside, the storm raged without mercy. Inside, 3 lives waited through the longest night, bound together by breath, endurance, and a choice that could not be undone. Hours passed slowly. Ethan stayed awake, rubbing the puppy gently to stimulate circulation, whispering words he had not spoken aloud in years. Across from him, the German shepherd watched with fading intensity, her fear dulled by pain and exhaustion. Something shifted in that silence. Not trust, but recognition. They were all fighting the same enemy. When dawn finally arrived, it came quietly, a thin gray light filtering through frost-covered glass. The puppy breathed stronger. The dog endured help. Arrived with the morning, a veterinarian recognized the signs immediately. The shepherd had been trained and abandoned. Surgery saved the leg. Care saved the rest. When asked if he could take them home, Ethan did not hesitate. Responsibility had always been his language. The cabin that once echoed with silence learned new sounds. Healing. Routine. Trust rebuilt slowly, not through grand gestures, but through presence. Sometimes miracles do not arrive with thunder or light from the sky. Sometimes they come wrapped in snow, disguised as pain and responsibility. That night did not change the world. It changed 3 lives. Compassion spoke louder than fear. Purpose returned where it had been lost. If you are watching this and feel tired, forgotten, or wounded by life, remember this. No one is placed in your path by accident. The kindness you give may become the miracle someone else is praying for. And sometimes it becomes the one that saves you too. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs hope today. Leave a comment telling us where you're watching from and subscribe so we can continue telling stories that